Hey, I'm Victoria Vertuga. In the spring of 2014, an unemployed struggling novelist named Rarick Muss-Barnes started a video series called Luthorville. Luthorville documents his purchase of 10 acres of land in the Mojave Desert to build his dream house, a technologically advanced, off-grid homestead called Galatea Meridian. Now, Rarick knows his stuff. He was recruited by Walt Disney, where he became a cast member and built websites for over 6 years. He was even courted by Apple Computers to program ebooks. So if you're a hiring manager, remember that you can hire Rarick to telecommute from anywhere in the world, whether you're in San Diego or New York City, Florida or New Zealand, North Dakota or Northern Ireland. You can always add his skills to your team. Can he manage to find a job and successfully finance this dream before he runs out of money and becomes homeless? Here's the update on his job hunt.
If you really want to know more about my job experiences, you should check out my book, How You Can Get a Job at Walt Disney Studios Without a College Degree, which outlines all of my job experiences before I got into Disney, including all of my other jobs in California. Hey there, boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Dear God, I Hope I Don't Die from Heat Stroke. June 28th, which is week number 17 of my job hunting, says, first of all, last week I complained about that company called the search agency and said they were really rude and disrespectful jerks because they interviewed me 4 times and never had the decency to tell me I wasn't hired. Well, I want to be fair. If I'm going to point out the behavior of a company that was rude and inconsiderate, I also want to point out companies that were polite and professional. An awesome and wonderful company that proved to be very respectful was Activision. That's right, the good old video game company. I would love to work for a place like that. Moving from Disney to Activision is acceptable. Moving from Disney to a company that sells stamps, yeah, that's not so great. 2 weeks ago, I had a telephone interview with Activision, and this week they told me they wouldn't be hiring me. Activision is the only company I've ever dealt with in my entire life that had the courtesy to tell me they were going with a different applicant when they had not met me in person. Activision extended that courtesy to me after a mere phone interview. That was impressive. I don't want people to think I'm just getting on camera and complaining about jerks and unprofessional companies like the search agency. I am also giving due credit to companies that show some class. Activision earned my respect by that simple act of kindness, and people deserve to know Activision has some respectable people working there. Activision is awesome. There were 3 interviews this week, but nothing came of them. Going on 4 months of looking every single day. This is getting disheartening. Okay, week number 18, which was the 5th of July, 2014. So this was almost exactly 2 weeks ago. Or two years ago. See, I told you this heat is getting to me. Because today is the 2nd of July, 2016. The day that I'm recording this video, that is. So what I'm reading to you from the journal is almost 2 years ago exactly. So week number 18, the 5th of July, 2014. It says 3 interviews this past week. Nothing worth talking about. There's nothing I can't do. I've accomplished so much in my life. I always thought that once you reached a certain level of success and affluence in your career, people would finally respect and appreciate what you have to offer. You know? Like eventually there would be no need to prove yourself anymore. Once you have produced video programs for millions of viewers and written 8 books and spent 6 years working for Walt Disney, the world would trust your abilities. The fact that you have more fortitude and creativity and capabilities and a diversity of experience which exceeds a majority of the people that anyone else knows, you'd be treated as an asset, a person of value, someone deserving of respect. Once you have paid your dues, you don't need to keep paying anymore. That is how I thought life worked. Once you have established yourself, you can rest easy and be recognized. Instead, it just seems like I'm constantly forced to prove myself to those who are inferior to me, and I'm tired of it. Part of me just wants to buy a tent and live out here in my land and never deal with humanity again. All the girls who pretend to like me then stop returning my phone calls, all the companies who refuse to see my value, all the general public who have no interest in reading my novels, what's the point? Nobody seems to want me around. I wish I could just stay out here all the time. Just get away from everybody forever. Unfortunately, without an income, I'd have no way to buy ammunition, and I'd probably get really tired of eating jackrabbits every day. Assuming I could hit those little suckers anyway. They're fast little buggers. I'm a good shot with a rifle on a paper target, but a running jackrabbit is a whole different ballgame. Look, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying very hard to remain optimistic. It's just that I've had some great interviews, and I've been turned down by some really cool opportunities, and it's just starting to wear thin on me. I know a lot of you out there are struggling to find work just like me, and you're not even getting interviews in the first place. I know that sucks. I don't know what's worse, being ignored all the time and having nobody even give you a chance, or landing interviews constantly but having people repeatedly reject you. Both scenarios end the same way. We still need a job. And I don't mean to sound arrogant by always mentioning my achievements. The psychology behind it is pretty simple. When you feel like an unappreciated failure, you're going to want to constantly remind everyone of what you have accomplished. You know? I'm not trying to sound like an egotistical jerk. I'm just tired of being constantly disregarded. Let's see what happens next week. Week number 19, the 12th of July, 2014. It says, great news! I got a job yesterday. A financial investment company in Studio City hired me to do development on their websites and their internal content management systems. I'm very excited. They're only a few miles from my current apartment, and they're willing to pay the salary I requested. I start on Monday. So, persistence pays off. After searching every single day for 4 months straight and going on over 30 interviews and sending out over 700 copies of my resume, I finally got a job. Funny thing is, I found it all on my own, too. After signing up with upwards of 8 or 9 placement agencies, the placement agencies, they never found me any work at all. Sure, they landed me a lot of interviews, but none of the recruiters or agencies actually helped me to get a job. See, folks, just stick to it and things will work out eventually. This means I can pay the rent and all my free time can be focused on creative projects like novels and Luthorville and skateboarding videos and things like that. So, the goal now is to keep this job for at least 1 year, preferably 5 or 6 years, so I can get a housing loan to pay for Galatea Meridian. So be sure to check out all the other videos on Luthorville now that I can edit them and post them and not be preoccupied about keeping food on the table. Oh, and get this. Apple Computer wants to interview me for a job programming ebooks. I'm very proud to say that I have created one of the best and most detailed tutorials on the internet explaining how to create EPUB files and MOBI files for authors to program their own ebooks on Kindle and iPad and smartphones and other e-reader devices. So, the update, 3 weeks later, well, it looks like Apple didn't want to hire me. I find that kind of amusing, since I'm literally the very first person on the internet to have made a tutorial on how to hand-code publishable ebooks from scratch. I created it to help fellow writers out there learn how to create a proper ebook. That tutorial has been on the internet for nearly 2 years, and no one else has ever made another version. I'm the only person in the world to have done it. No one gets that. No one appreciates what a milestone it is. I'm the only person who made such an effort to help other writers get their work into the world. I'll never get any recognition for it. Not even Apple understands the value of my knowledge and what I share. But at least I know I did it. Even if the rest of the world doesn't grasp how far ahead I am, I'm not slowing down for everyone else to catch up. Well, there you have it. Those are the series of 5 videos outlining all my job hunting efforts so that I could move ahead with the whole Luthorville project. And now, I'm going to go get a drink of water and get into my air-conditioned truck before I pass out. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you I won't see you, but you'll see me in another video. Take care, folks. I grabbed my hat twice, didn't I? Yeah, I'm going just stir crazy in this heat.
10 acres of ants. Remember I mentioned Eric is a writer? He's actually written 8 books, including 5 novels. All of his books are available in paperback and hardcover as a special order from any major bookstore and from every online bookseller you can imagine. However, if you really believe in the Luthorville project and want to support it, you can pay any price you want for one of his ebooks. Be sure to check them out at dovesheinc.com or just look him up at your favorite bookseller.
Luthorville is an educational series inspiring kids and adults to become excited about innovations in science and technology by documenting the design and construction of a Mojave Desert homestead called Galatea Meridian. Witness the crazy story of how Eric Muss-Barnes, an unemployed computer geek and struggling novelist, risks homelessness by spending most of his life savings to build an off-grid dream house in the middle of nowhere. Having purchased vast acres of the Old West, can Eric find a stable job and create his home before his money runs out? Take a journey where fortitude and a pioneering spirit continue to forge the American dream on the romantic landscape of the American frontier.